smell nice for the camera as well.
Smell nice for the camera.
Why not?
Yeah, bro.
Alright, cool.
It'll make me feel better.
We got 4
You
DVDs.
know what I'm saying? This is what the Malik's there, bro. And you, I don't know for you.
Yeah, like if there was a message you wanted to, we're not recording about it. We're recording about it.
Wait,
No, you can go ahead.
You get chopped, yeah.
There's no message, bro. Well, I came here for you, man. You get me? Like, you man asked me on Bobo's day. I was just like, you know what?
What made you change your mind though?
We might be recording now.
That's no best. You can cut this out, innit?
No, we might not cut this out. Depending.
What made you change your mind, yeah?
Abdul Malik. I think I know why Abdul Malik said that, because there's not that Abdul Malik played a part. What happened? The series of events that happened on that day, I spoke to Abdul Malik played a part. And
Okay.
if I'm being totally honest, even before that, I think Abdul Malik, we spoke in it about how I didn't want how you should look. So did you get it?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
no, before that, when I first called you up.
Okay.
That day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now speak freely, bro. Don't worry.
Oh, you can cut it out, yeah.
No, as in I won't cut out, but speak freely.
Love it. We spoke regarding the issue of the youth today and how this is their life now. Like, everything's on the internet, and you're gonna be responsible for everything you put out there. Everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is you're not gonna move on the Yom al-Qiyamah, except they're gonna be asked with many questions. From them is gonna be from your rizq and what you said and how you interacted with people and stuff.
And from your time.
Yeah, exactly. And from those things is obviously what you put on the pod.
Yeah.
And obviously these lot are not totally responsible for how a person is going to respond to whatever they hear on the podcast. Lurking. There is a big responsibility on users' behalf, because this information, sir, and information is free nowadays. And you don't have to pull it out, is what I was trying to get at.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, you say something mad, potentially that can, I'll give you an example. It was on a phone call. I don't want to say the example, but there was an example.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a bit mad. And I just thought, if I was young and I heard this from Big Abdul Malik and Big Ibs, I just thought, man, the take down, just roll with it. The Mashaykh has spoken in it.
At this point, I want to obviously say that don't do that.
Yeah. And alhamdulillah, and that's the whole responsibility thing. Like, you're in between two hardships when you're ever putting out content, even when you're speaking with people on a daily basis. I used to work at a retail store. I'm not going to mention the retail store. Whenever they hire a person, they always tell you, and this is, I think, it's to make the people work hard, that type of thing. Like, this praise praise is likely to be mentioned to one other person than the person themselves. And this praise is apparently, according to statistics, likely to be mentioned by 8 people. So they tell 8 people, and you did something bad, and if you did something good, they only tell 1 person. So they used to say to us, make sure you're always happy, you're always working, you're always putting yourself out. My shifts were very short, but they made me work, bro. Make sure you didn't get the negative reviews. I forgot where I was going with that one, but that's
the difference between, you know, the responsibility and the information.
And this is what it is. Yani, I don't know how you might not scared of. That's my whole thing.
No.
Like, how are you?
Firstly, I'd say we are, and when it comes to podcasts, like, how long? Me and Dula, we spoke about this probably like two years before first episode came out, and at the end of the day, it's a like you said, it's 2 hardships. Same way, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask us, you know, there's nothing that we won't be asked about. From what we're going to be asked about is the time we spent, and
How did you benefit?
how did we benefit the people? Because obviously, you know, when we seek knowledge, obviously the knowledge is to benefit ourselves first and foremost. But part of that, along that chain, somewhere in that chain is obviously calling to that knowledge, isn't it? And there's not a level on, you know, what. Obviously, there's levels, you know, to there's qualifications. You know, there's not anyone that can say anything. There's you know, there's muftis, there's shoot, there's people that are.
Everybody has their place.
Everybody has their place. And like, we're in a day and age, we have to respond to the day and age. I think anyway, this is my opinion, that we should respond to the time and place that we're in, and try to help the system as best as we can in a way that doesn't kind of divert away from the correct way, which is, you know, like we heard in, you know, the rights of the scholar lecture, the rights of the teachers, the ustad lecture, that, you know, the rights of the shuyukh, that, you know, they should be respected, and when people want to seek knowledge, they should go to them. But I don't think what we're doing, inshallah anyway, is in some way diverting. I think what we're trying to do, inshallah, and that's why we ask people to, you know, to constantly, you know, badger us or whatever, is to be a part of that chain to hopefully bring people to that level where they're comfortable and they're continuously and regularly going to the best sources of education. And part of that is bringing suitably qualified shuyukh. For مثلا. Where's it? It's coming.
We've been waiting.
It's coming. Yeah.
Love
But
this,
so that's a brief kind of anyway. Like obviously, it's a conversation we've had, but I think it's a good conversation. It's a good conversation.
You can always be on. That's a thing with me. The whole thing of putting out dawah is always a seesaw for me. From what I've seen, generally speaking, as in the teachers, they see and they look into your situation. That's why it's good to get close to a teacher and whatnot. They will say to you like, there's not a fight in the West that we're not fighting. Like from every bab, the Muslims are at attack. Like we don't know we're at war. It's ideological warfare that these don't know they're fighting. They know that they're brainwashing the Muslims, be it the young, the old, the sisters. And that's why I say there's a rush for me to, if you can, get out while you still can in it. Till it's a stay here or you get it, be with us or be against us type of thing. And most of the Muslims today, we know which side I think they will be on. And it's because of the indoctrination, what they've put forth in the schools and TV and whatnot. But for me, the way I saw it, and the reason that a change got on, mine's not changed. It's still.
But why you
I would
open
say
your eyes to
open.
more to the
It was a
opposite
thing.
side, yeah.
My teacher was saying to me. He said to me, and the book we're going through, and I told you that day, a very very simple book. And he said to me, "Do you think I think?" Because I was asking about this whole situation. He said, "Do you think I think I'm qualified to teach this book? Do you think so?" And I said,
"This is big style. Big style.
Like
Yeah.
you've got
I hope so,
credentials under your belt. You know when you're like, you know what, man's got bad things on my back. I should be confident to teach this type of book in it. And it was a very simple book, alhamdulillah. He said, "Do you think I feel confident enough?" He said to me, "I don't think my teacher feels." And his teachers, rahimahullah, he's a known scholar. Yeah. He's a known scholar. So he was just like, and this is what it is, like you are between two fairs, but he says it comes down to necessity. You are going to say that. It comes back to that statement of Imam Ahmed. What did he say? He said, if I remain quiet, and I think he was speaking to not Yahya bin Ma'in, Ali bin Madini. He said, if I remain quiet and you remain quiet, who is there going to be to take the people away from the arrogance or the ignorance and to bring those people towards that is what is truthful, what is the knowledge? He said, who's going to be there? I remain silent, you remain silent. Everybody is quiet. Who's gonna be the one to take the people out of things? Yeah. And you have the izzah. And that's what I say. Today, a lot of Muslims, we are not rectify our affair, are scared. Like they're scared of their religion or propagating the religion, saying I'm a Muslim with izzah, like wearing a thobe and wearing the hijab. These things are scary for people. Like it's a huge step.
Sad.
Yeah. And you know what the environment we work in, or I work in now.
Yeah.
Shout out me, man, boss.
Yeah. I would. Bluetooth.
Yeah, you hear a lot of kalam there, and I always tell my brother when I come home from work, like, the situation of Shabab today is dire, bro.
Diabolical.
We're actually at war. And it comes back to those two narrations. Imam Ahmed, he used this to why he remained firm on his trial. You know, they're talking about the Mu'tazila and the people of Khalq al-Quran, the whole fitna. It's well known. One of the mashayikh at his time, they used the example of the hadith Ammar bin Yasir, where Ammar bin Yasir, he was asked by Abu Jahl, and the story is known, the people know it. What do you say about this man? And he started to say bad things so he could escape. His parents were killed in front of him. Abu Jahl was from the most wicked of the Quraysh, very evil person, and that's why his name Abu Jahl now, and his previous name was what? Abu Hakim, the father of the wise. So this is not wisdom. He killed a Muslim, rightfully, both of them, in a way that was very, Allah understand, very hard to describe. This is not for the faint-hearted. And he was killed in like, he was killed in like, do you know the story of how he was killed?
Which battle did he die?
Badr.
Badr,
first one.
Yeah.
Or the first big one.
Was it the one-on-one? Was it the...
No, it was two. So there's two brothers.
Yeah, the two brothers.
Yeah. They say they were brothers. Some narrations they say the two other people, like to escape the khilaf. We say there are two noble people from the companions.
Yeah.
So Mu'adh and Mu'awwidh, I think it is, and some of them put the Z there, and some of them put because of the translation. They were two young Sahabi, and they came across one of the noble companions of Abdurrahman ibn Auf, and he's from the Ashra Bashra in the Jannah. He's one of the 10 promised Jannah. And they came up to him by his side. The first one, Mu'adh, I think he's the older one. He asked, "Where's Abu Jahl?"
Yeah.
Can you understand? Yeah, can you understand that these lot are young kids, fam? they're young kids, and they're asking, where is this? This guy was terrorizing the Muslims. Him and his cronies, like Boris Johnson and the madam today. It probably worse, actually. Not 100% worse.
Of course.
Yeah. It's where's Abu Jahl?
That was blatant.
Yeah.
As blatant.
Yeah, Abdurrahman went off. He's bounced. He was like, he's this Shihab, like he's this young person asking for such a quote unquote big person.
Yeah.
And then he described him. He said, I don't know where he is at the moment, but if I see them, I'm going to let you know where he is. And then obviously the reason is because we heard he did this and this to our Prophet. And this is the love they had for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And as we should all aspire to have. And on the other side, I think it was moments later, his brother in Islam, we should say, also came up. And he said, where's Abu Jahl? Same question, and gave the same answer. So when Abdurrahman ibn Auf finally saw Abu Jahl, he told the two youths where he was. Straight away they were there. And they describe in the seerah how exactly they killed, or how they quote unquote.
I can't remember.
The authentic narrations, they mentioned that it was Abdullah ibn Mas'ud who got the final blow, and he took his head and brought it to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But they gave him 2 fatal blows. One of them, can you imagine? And we say today that we don't have, what's the word, role models in Islam. You don't need to go far to the books, to the seerah, to look at the lives of these people. Let me describe to you a part of his war. He was fighting one of the I think it was the older Mu'az ibn Amr, Ibn Jammuh, and his father as well. Allah, amazing story. They were fighting in the battles. Somebody struck him a photo blow. It might have been Abu Jahl, and he said his arm was dangling by its side. His arm. He said my arm was a liability to me. My arm. He was still fighting, by the way, and the arm was there. He said, in order to remove the responsibility from myself, I stepped on my arm and I pulled it off and continued fighting. That was him. And his brother also got caught. They both got two lethal blows, and from there they thought he was dead. Then he had a very good conversation with Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, because Abdullah Mas'ud was a very downtrodden person in the Quraysh, lurking. And then they spoke at length about the situation. Then he took his head. So the narration to escape the Caliph, he says that all of them had a part to play in his death. But to go back to what we was talking about, Ammar bin Yasir, we was talking about Ammar bin Yasir and how he tortured his parents. Ammar bin Yasir, in that circumstance, because nobody was on his responsibility, he used to say whatever he said, and he told the Prophet Muhammad, he said, if they did the same thing to you again, say the same thing. It was a bad thing that he said regarding the Prophet Muhammad. He said, say the same thing, why? Because you fear your life. Ahmed ibn Hanbal, when he was commenting on this, he also gave the other side. So this is the bab he took. The hadith Khabbab ibn Arat, where Khabbab, and everybody knows the story of Khabbab. Khabbab is, Allah, he was tortured, like by his owner.
Master.
He was a slave. It was a woman. So even that time, they didn't used to see women as high people. So even when he was young, he was he was very shadid, and he was a good, what do they call it, blacksmith.
Yeah.
He was a good blacksmith, and he was also good in arms as well. And when it came to the time the Prophet Muhammad, he first got Nubuwah, after he got Nubuwah, Khabbab, he was a very smart guy. So he did his Islam and he practiced the most he could in secret until he was finally saw and somebody snitched on him. And then the troubles began to start. And he was tortured a lot with heat and the same things he used to mold the swords with, the heat. So it was mentioned that one of the most gruesome things that happened to him, that they used to grab molten things from the stones, stones, and pull on his head, stamp it on his head. Khabbab, one day when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was resting his head on the Kaaba, Khabbab, he came to him, and narrations mention different things. Like, and it says Khabbab asked, he said, will you not make supplication to your Lord for him to remove this hardship from us? Would you not make supplication from your Lord? And then he sat up. Yeah, that's just coming in it. He sat up. He sat up. He said, the time there came a people from the time before you, a person who a grave was dug for him. He was placed inside the grave, and they would, from both sides, chop him in half, all the way until his body fell, and he didn't fall from his religion. There came another person. And I think this is mentioned in Surah Buruj, and it's mentioned in a long narration in Riyadh al-Salihin by Ka'ab ibn Malik. He has a very long narration talking about the people of Ashab al-Ukhdud. And that narration was very beneficial. Many benefits that ulama have taken from it. Back to the story, is mentioned that another group of people, they were stood up, and iron combs were taken and put inside their bodies, and it was comb, their muscle was cut off them,
cut off, yeah.
and they did not flee from the religion. He said, Wallahi, this is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wallahi, there will come a time where a rider will ride from San'a to Hadramaut, and he will not fear except Allah for himself and a wolf upon his sheep. Why do you say wolf upon his sheep? Because wolf, they don't care, and they're just there to get me bashal, eat good grub and that. They're just there to eat. They get their food and they cut. As for the human beings, they're going to be safe. And some of the ulama, they mentioned this was in the time of the Umar II. His name was
my son?
Umar bin Abdul Aziz. Umar bin Abdul Aziz. Umar bin Abdul Aziz, where you could come around, you see a people, you won't be able to give charities to anybody because everybody was well off.
Patterned.
Yeah. And this was because Islam was thriving at the time and everybody was doing well by their religion. And people are asking today, how do we get Izzah from Islam? How do we get Izzah?
Follow it.
You follow Islam. Not that you want to do your thing on the side and say, yeah, the Muslims, Islam's going to come to us properly and the khair from Islam's going to come to us. What are you doing yourself to implement these rules of Islam?
Allah's pure and He loves what is pure.
Aywa, that hadith, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud aydan. Hadith. Aywa, so to return that hadith, Khabbab, so the iron comes to cover him. And then he said this part, he said, but, oh, Khabbab, you are hastening the matter. I said, he promised you this. He said, this is what's going to happen. The time is going to come when people are going to benefit like this. But you're hastening the matter. I.e., don't hasten it. You but be patient. You do what you need to do. And this is also going back to the processing thing where people want to rush the khair. Wallahi, I've never seen a group of people more privileged quote unquote, than the UK, and people are still complaining about how their lives are not perfect yet. For me, we are living we're probably one of the richest people in society ever.
Yeah.
Like in history, sorry, ever. And that's why the ulama, they say, اقرأ التاريخ إذ فيه الإبرة ضل قوم لا يظلمون الخبر. They say, read history. Verily there is a great benefit in history. Why? ضل قوم, he said, a whole group of people, a whole generation, a whole society went astray. Why? Because they didn't know the history. One of the people from the non-Muslims, he also mentions a statement. He says, the one thing we learned from history is that we didn't learn anything from history.
Because
repetition. We just repeat ourselves. And this is the state of the Muslims today. And we come to these narrations to mention what Imam Ahmed said. He said, I stayed firm upon the mihnah so the people of today could practice their religion. Ali bin Madini, he used to say that Islam was saved by two people. Abu Bakr, in the time of the what? When the Red War was happening, when people were apostating from the religion. And he said, I'm not going to leave, even if it was a khitmir, I think, or something that was small from the zakat that the people used to give Prophet Muhammad. I'm not going to leave it in fear that I may deviate. So he said, everything that Prophet Muhammad was doing, I'm going to implement the same way. Nobody's getting what? Rest of mind. And then Islam rectified itself, and then we saw how it spread, and Tariq ibn Ziyad and Salahuddin al-Ayyubi, and how Islam spread.
Mongols.
Why? Because they stick from to what? Quran and Sunnah, upon the way of the Salaf. And Imam Ahmed, he used this to illustrate his point where I wanted to go through this mihnah, this problem of not turning back. Why? To show that Islam is izzah. This is hard. Even this was Muslims children, by the way, not non-Muslims. So you can speak about what's happening today in the West, and they're waging full out war against our children and us as well, by extension. And may Allah protect us, man. I know wallah it's a scary situation that we're in. People will lie today. We need to realize that Islam, the wallah, there's so much beauty in it, so much strength in it, and this is the only way in which you're gonna find honor. Umar bin Khattab, he has a famous statement, and just to give you a background first, his context. Wallahi, you already know it. After Bakr died, we have history. Omar came, and then the Islam was thriving. They were going each which, and can you imagine that? Do you understand? So they're worrying now. Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah, he's also from the what? Timber Mashana, Ashram Bashran Jannah. He's also from the Timber Mashana. He was with Umar ibn Khattab. He was going to meet him in Sham. So they were at a mosh pit. It's not the modern day version of a mosh pit. Because I say like the kids don't take that, I run with it, you know what I'm saying? No, but shows in that. La. They were at a mosh pit, an actual mosh pit, where there was mosh land, there was swampy area. And yeah, and he was the leader of the believers at the time. He was the first one to give him that title, Ibn Khattab al-Faruq. The person who used to make fight between people. Haq and batil. So they're out this mosh. And Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah, he saw Umar start to roll up his thobe and take off his to try and basically walk through it. And he said, "Are you doing this? Yeah, Amir al-Mu'minin, you're doing this. You're basically saying, mount your camel and we'll take you through it," type of thing. And he said, Umar, you can only imagine what type of person he would be in today's. And he would shit that. Wallahi, I'm not scared. He said, if anybody apart from you would have said this, Abu Ubaidah, and this is a stern warning, fam. Like, if it wasn't you, big man, like, it would have been a rap type of thing. And he said, يعني نحن قوما أعز الله بالإسلام ومن يطلق الإذن بغيره أدنى الله. يعني my Arabic is very poor, so we bear with it, inshallah. So,
Allah increase you.
yeah, I mean. What did they say? Us, أيوة. المشايخ بأمثلة صح؟ الله المستعان.
Let me get shop out. Don't let us start seeing me and be like, what's going on here?
Allah المستعان. Now I'm the statement. What did he say? He said, verily before Islam came to us, we were what? A very disgraced people. We're embarrassed. Yani, look at our east and the west. Who was ruling at this time? The Byzantines, which are the Romans, and the Sassanids, which are the what? The Persians. They were a small group of people that you've mentioned in the podcast previously, how they used to prepare their children and to gamble their families away, and fornication left, right, and center. You can kill a man anyhow next to the Kaaba.
Idols out of their food,
idols.
Eating,
how many 360 idols on the Kaaba?
Basically.
Yeah, like, it was a mess. It was a mess. What did he say by this statement? What did he mean? He said, we were disgraced people, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He honored us by Islam. So whoever seeks honor, and this, by the way, he's talking to a noble companion, by the way. It's not a local geezer. Like, he said, whoever seeks honor with other than Islam, he is going to be what? Debased. He's going to be disgraced. This guy's going to be embarrassed. Look at our state today. Tell me who fears the Muslims today. Muslims, like, you can say Muslims, and man will be like, oh man, damn, if they get onto me, it's long, you know. They're going to say that. Why? Today would
joke, man.
Yeah. It's a mess of a state. Yeah, welcome to the.
Assalamu alaikum, people.
What's it?
Jollof.
Fried rice on Fridays.
You got chin in it. That's it. Sorry.
You better are joking. I had to go got rice in that. Someone said that. Someone said that.
That's a fit.
For a man that were on time.
Yeah. Oh no.
We finished it.
That wasn't my fault.
But yeah, alhamdulillah.
Fridays and fried fast, yeah. Fridays after Fridays.
Alhamdulillah. You're back off the Jummah. This is episode.
You know what? Yeah.
I don't know what episode this is gonna be. We got a couple in the vote. So
The vote is
bulky, exactly.
59. This might be 60.
I'm ready to take some annual leave.
We've been chugging out the content these past couple of weeks. Alhamdulillah.
They'll probably be like, oh, what do you mean? Because they're still coming out.
Still coming out every 2 weeks. But
alhamdulillah for us.
Recording consecutively. But alhamdulillah, it took us a while to get this guest on. Our people were talking to his people, negotiating, going back and forth. It took a while, but finally got the paper signed.
This is you know when Ronaldo went Real Madrid.
Do you know what it was?
Mbappe, we got Mbappe on the podcast.
Allah understand. La. You just on that point, not nothing serious between like. Miqdad ibn Aswad and Ibn Umar.
Sorry.
Go on.
Forgive me, I'm fine. Have we introed?
No, we haven't.
Okay, let's quickly.
This is the show.
This is about.
Tell us who you are.
Who am I though?
You have to tell us. You have to tell them. What did your mum name you?
That's a very good question. Funny thing is, some of the brothers that.
Yeah.
That's actually a different name. That's a funny thing.
Why do I feel like I'm being added?
No. There's actually Nah, I can't give you the name of my mum, but I can give you what I'm known by today.
What you're known as.
Yeah. Allah understand. That is hilarious.
Is your first name not the name we know you?
What, is it recording yet?
No, we don't do the name. That's for now, you're nameless, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah,
Something like that. Hopefully that's the name, innit?
In one day, I can be called 4 different names,
Same.
It's mad.
Yeah.
It's mad.
No, but only those that I respect will I'll answer to. But other man, again, response from man, I can't tell my to that. I understand. Well, I'm playing this.
That's in different tribes in that fam. Embrace it.
Yeah. I fair dues. Yeah.
Embrace that.
Yeah, go ahead. Why are you? The brief background.
As long as the name's beautiful, innit? It means has a nice meaning.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Alhamdulillah. Nah, I'm actually in the name of Roof, man. Just one of the brothers, innit? Just one of the brothers. The generic response. There's not. I'll be totally honest, yeah. There's actually nothing else to add about from your one of the brothers, innit? Tawfeeq. Best, get it, like no titles, nothing after
The best Tawfeeq, or else.
Nah, I didn't say that. But I agree with that.
Someone said it, innit?
That's a hotly contested title.
Trust me on this one.
That's
There's been a couple.
the third entry, yeah.
Shout out to Tawfeeq, stop preceding me, my line Christian, man.
I mean,
Put them on khair, man. Nah, I'm Feed Brothers, man. But
Cool. Your point.
now
Sorry,
just on that thing about actually, I don't see it as a praise. Like in the companions, they had not a weird way, and we say weird because of the context that we live in and the way that we used to work. We're upbrought. Is that a word? Yeah, upbrought. Words. It makes sense, yeah.
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with
The
it?
way that we're upbrought, we see it as it might be a strange thing, but like the companions, they used to run from this type of thing. Umar ibn Khattab, he used to have a statement. He said he heard another companion being praised in his presence. Well, it might have been from the people, the shabab, and he might have been a tabi. And he said, "You have praised your brother." He said, "This praise has destroyed him, so may Allah destroy you."
He's so active.
I understand you man's love for him, like, and he was he was a very noble companion, and I would still say, and there's some talk about Abu Bakr as much, but 100%. I mean, we can have a conversation about that off air, innit? Might get a bit heated, but 100% Abu Bakr was. He was.
I'm on your side still.
Yeah, 100%. But Umar, there's a lot to adore from his character.
The highlights of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The highlights, like, I was there, like, that's it.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
I was there, like, first, like, come on.
13, 12 days they were evading, bro. And they had these Suraka ibn Malik and they were chasing them through the
Cave,
thing.
everything.
Yeah, there was a lot there, man.
Anyway, I know certain man, like, I know Dullah's probably shaking. Dullah's probably like, what?
You can go chief, man. Where's Dullah, fam? Where's he been? Oh, live, man.
I mean, back soon, inshallah, man. We might get young. Anyway, like, back to the.
Nah, they used to, like, the companions, they used to say that, and it was authentically narrated from the Prophet Muhammad. He said the same thing. And a person was praised in front of him. He said, "You shouldn't do such a thing." And that maybe you've slaughtered your friend's back because of this praise that you have given him. The authentic narration, Sahih Muslim. So, not to say we should stay away from it, because the Prophet Muhammad, he also implemented that. He also praised people, and that's because from his hikmah, he knew the people. So maybe Imam Nawawi, he mentions that to escape from the khilaf, to praise a person or not praise a person, if you can, stay away from it. But you need to be certain that this person is the person of khair, to your best ability. Prophet Muhammad said, he also has another authentic narration where he says, give thanks to the people, of course, and to give gifts, and so you may love one another, and to praise people in their natural place. If you know a person, you should say from your own statement, "I know this person to be upon this," not to say that this person is this. You get it? There's a difference.
Question related. So I was gonna say, and it may be something for one of our teachers, or do you know what I mean? But praising a person and praising the actions of a person, is the hadith, would you say, or is it said that the hadith is applicable to both? And what I mean by that is, brother, okay, I'll give an example. I'll give an example that apply to ourselves in it. Why not? Because we're speaking openly today. MashaAllah, really took a lot of benefit from this episode. May Allah increase you.
I mean, maybe if it started yet, but
I'm talking about no. Somebody in a DM says that, or what, a YouTube comment. To me, I don't like the way I receive it, and this could be, could be a ni'mah, it could be just common sense, but I see it as they are praising the works, not my character, not myself, not Abdul, you're a sick guy, Ibs, you're sick guys, you lot are patterned, well done. To me, it's the praise of the works. That action,
and we're ballparking here, and we're spitballing bad man thing.
This is not
that action. Can it be praised in and of itself without being attached to the person?
Can you praise an action and attach it from the person? I think
if it was to say Salah by itself, Salah is a praiseworthy person. Can we say that the way that person prayed Salah was cold still? Like, it's cold. Like the standing was cold. Like his legs were very straight.
It's a different the example, because of the fact that
I'm asking. Okay, we're ballparking here, innit? I'm trying to open
with the example that's been given. Us facilitating a beneficial conversation.
Who is the person that gave the beneficial content? Is that person being praised? Is what I'm asking. The action of doing that thing versus the person himself. And if any person
in that example I gave, when you look at the language, the logo, they're praising the person for doing the action. I accept that.
Let me mention the Qawl of Imam Nawawi first. He basically said, if you know that person to be upon that, you should say, "I know him for this," Not to say that he is the person and he is this, because that is obviously we don't know the ghaib in it, what this person is doing behind closed doors. You don't know what I'm doing behind closed doors, which is why a lot of the Sahaba and from them is Abu Bakr Siddiq. He's got it's 2-1 now, isn't it? So he used to mention when he was
pull up
praised.
to that.
He used to mention, he used to make dua that Allah sometimes doesn't take him into account for what the people didn't know about him. And he used to say, may Allah make me better than what they think of me, and forgive me for that which they don't know about me, and basically to make me better than what they think of me, and don't take me into account for what they say about me, even though he was from the most lofty of the companions, and he was the first on every single list. Whenever the companions they mentioned the Ashram, Bashar and Jannah, he was the first to be mentioned. Abu Bakr, and they always say whenever Prophet Muhammad said he came, who came after? Abu Bakr, then Umar, never Umar before Abu Bakr. Why? And he was the first. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's the hadith. That's the hadith. Sa'ad ibn Waqqas, is it not? Ibn Abi Waqqas, my brother corrected me. Hadith Sa'ad ibn Waqqas. What did he say? He used to say the most proud people from the people are the prophets, and them who? The most righteous people after them, the righteous people after them. You can see from the life of Abu Bakr. And he had a very, alhamdulillah, mumtaz life, and he was through nearly every single one. And it's mentioned that, and this is probably 3 to Abu Bakr now, but Abu Bakr is mentioned that one of the only people that Prophet Muhammad said never finished basically paying back. Like, it was a lot of those people he couldn't level, because he aided with him with everything, with his family, with his own wealth, with his daughters. Both of them, sah, and his sons. It's not known that Abu Bakr had multiple children and multiple wives. Allahumma barik. Something that the brother should be striving towards. If you have the means now.
I don't know, what time was it? Let me jump before I'm pushing it.
This is from the religion side.
So
this is something that was practiced.
Anyway, obviously the judge stance is clear, innit? You can't, do you know what I mean? We don't make haram or halal.
And it's a praise on the sunnah. Just to put that out there. Something the brother should be aspiring to. I know, tamam. So he did that. He aided with his family.
Say it with chest next time.
Hey, what polygyny with chest? You want to say?
Go on.
them guys. As in to go back to what I was mentioning. So he used to say this, and obviously Abu Bakr was because of this virtue he had over the other companions. He was named, and this is praise, huh? It's praise. And so we say, and Imam Nawawi, he says, to escape the khilaf to, if you know a person to be upon it, you say, you know this person for this. Prophet Muhammad was able to say this with conviction, because at times Allah SWT, he gave him the revelation to say that this person's from Jannah, this person's from Jannah, this person's from Jannah. And it's not only those 10, by the way. It's mentioned that we had the footsteps of Bilal and Aisha and all the wives of the Prophet Muhammad in different narrations. So it's not restricted to these 10, they are from the best of them, and Badr as well. So there was a lot. Exactly. So we're going. Where did we stop? What was we even talking about?
We were talking about. What was we talking about? We were talking about the
act. And detaching it from the person.
You know, just to add on that, you know, Miqdad Ibn al-Aswad, he's a friend of Ali ibn Abi Talib, and Ibn Umar as well. 2 separate narrations that mentions they used to dash dust at people for praising other people as well, like dash people in their mouths, if they went I can't imagine a man dashing nut, but I couldn't.
Do you know what it is with
bro?
That's
obviously the man had Islam, but I'm saying, bro, today, I'll show you my son outside, fam.
Turn you to dust.
But now, so the question,
let's take benefit from this conversation in a way that we can safely take. So let's, the doubtful is the doubtful, but relating it to the people that are going to be listening, the people that are going to be watching, inshallah. What can we take from this? So I can start, or Ibs, you can start. What I'll take from this is that praise is an expensive thing. It's something that is to be held close to oneself and not to be released easily. And the reason is because at the end of the day, like when we look at the world we live in and look at the standard of the brothers, and we look at the standard of the son of the ummah now today, and we compare it to the Sahaba, to the Salaf, in every which way we're lacking.
Yeah.
So if they are people who are,
you actually don't have any dubs on them.
Yeah, there's none, not one. It's just 3-0 past the
understand, yeah.
So when we think, you know, that when we call those the praised generations, it's difficult to call ourselves, you know, our
basically just
Feeks is a
praise,
praised
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
So that, to me, that's clear. And to be fair, alhamdulillah, Jakhla, that's that. You know, can you even say Jakhla here now? But you know, I mean, that's something that I haven't actually deeped, to be honest. So barakallahu fi, and I think that's something that people should, you know, think on. Like, take a second, you know what I mean, and think on that.
Yeah.
But
that's 100%.
moving on yourself. So further to that, any additional benefits we can take from this? Because I'm sure when you mentioned it, there was a specific point you had in mind, which you might have forgotten.
What was that about?
We were talking about praise, yeah. Or did I steal your point?
I think you rounded it up good, to be honest. And if you're gonna praise a person, it should be for something that they're given that is khair, that you see to be khair, innit? And that is, and we have another narration from Muhammad that he mentions that when a person has something, don't compare yourself always, and I'm paraphrasing here, don't always compare yourself to the person who has more than you. Why? Because you're always going to be wanting more. And this, generally speaking, people like to cut corners when they want more. To achieve that thing that they want, they cut corners. Why? Everybody wants something quick, fast, immediate gratification, as they say, sir. Nobody wants the delayed thing. Even though they say the grind is this, is where's this, the khair is, the sweetness is.
It's a lie, though.
Yeah. But why are people rushing today? Because they've been told this is the narrative, you can have anything you want at any time, and this is the fight that liberalism is having, individualism, and everything should be done for yourself and not for the good of the community. So people take sacrifices, they cut corners. So that's why, generally speaking, when you have khair that comes to you, always number one, attribute it back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And after that, you look to the people who are below you. How can you benefit these people? Or even at most, obviously, make dua. But don't change your persona to try and get out of, don't forget where you came from, type of thing. Even if you were born into a high family, and it's mentioned one of the companions, I forgot his name, I understand. This is what happens, you don't take Taliban a long time. You don't read consistently. This is what work does to you. Like it, to escape from the khilaf. Yeah. This is life. He came from a noble family. And when his family realized that he became Muslim, he took his shahada. They stripped nearly everything from him. And he basically went to Medina skint. And it's the same with Abdurrahman bin Auf. They mentioned he was one of the rich. He was very up, one of the richest companions, and he left it for what? Sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he made migration, he came to another noble companion, Ibn Rabi'ah. I've forgotten his first name. I understand. Abdullah, I think it was. Ibn Rabi'ah, and he offered it to take half of everything, even his what? Even his what? Meaning he had multiple what? Let them open their ears, you know what I'm saying? Let them open their ears, fam. So to take half. So
point me to the market, yeah.
The thing I'm trying to get here is everything you do, wallahi, try and get the izzah. It's always attributed back to Islam. The izzah you get, any honor you get. Yeah, it reminds me of the narration. I'm sorry if I'm lagging here. You might cut me if you need to. إن الله يرفع بهذا الكتاب أقواما ويضعه به آخرين. Oh, this is a statement from who again? Umar bin Khattab. He's got another point. Another point. Like in this context, it shows context. All of these, what they used to attribute their khair to was to what? Islam. Today, what we're seeing, everything is, I need to remove my hijab for this reason, I need to remove my thought for this reason, I need to wear this or do this.
Every difficulty is attributed to Islam.
Aywa.
Delay gratification.
You don't want the. So what exactly what are you here for? What do you think? You're here for games or something?
We've been told.
This is a fitna.
It is sad like that. Today, like I said, every single issue a Muslim will suffer in this dunya, they'll attribute to Islam and forget what Allah's told you. Like, you're always going to be put through. That's what's coming. But they forget.
Easy, wallahi, easy to do forget.
It's an honor. The tribulation. Obviously, it's difficult at the time. I remember the brothers, MCL brothers, but all them. I'm saying that I had a specific episode about sabr. Man, people forget like
they're off types. They're off types.
That it's difficult to see at the time, but at the end of the day, if you're somebody who's afflicted with trials as a Muslim, it's an opportunity. It's a ni'mah.
That's
and it's an indication of your status.
What did we just mention? The hadith of Sa'ad bin Waqqas. He said, "Who are the people that are most tried?
Prophets.
The prophets, and then who? those who are close to them in righteousness. So if you're be given a trial, don't see it as something as wallahi. Me and one of the other brothers we were just speaking about, actually. I'm not gonna mention his name. We were talking about this whole situation, and he was just mentioning wallahi. We were reflecting, doing tadabbur, alhamdulillah. We basically mentioned wallahi we never saw benefit in the khair that we have now, except that we went through those hardship first. Like what made us appreciate what we went through, what we got now, and it's not a lot, alhamdulillah. It's something that we are grateful to Allah for. We wouldn't appreciate it if we didn't go through that hardship first.
If you didn't revise, you won't. You won't
and that's the struggle. And this is beautiful, man. Just to go back generation, we mentioned Umar Khattabi. It's the same point. What did he mention? He said, and just to give you context again, they were in and this was at the time of his khilafah. So they were in a valley. Umar, yeah. They were in a valley, and Umar, one of the people he put a minister in charge of that valley had to make travel towards him. So he asked, who did you leave in that place that you were there to? Because if you leave, as they say,
you come back and it's not yours anymore.
Man will just usurp it and do a matching type of thing. He said, I left so-and-so. And Umar, he was a person who was well-rounded and who these people were around his area. I said, he doesn't know so-and-so. And it doesn't harm me that I don't know him. I can tell me of him type of thing. And he said he was a slave from the people. He was a low person, downtrodden person. He said, a slave? And questioning. Not to say that he can't be in that status, but he was questioning. He said, yes. He asked him, what was the reason that you left him in charge? He said, there was no one more knowledgeable than him about the Quran in that area. And there was no one more knowledgeable than him in that area about inheritance. So he had what? Virtue over the other people by what? Not by his status, but by his what? By his knowledge. And that's why he said, Inna Allah yarfa'u bihadil kitabi aqwaman. And this knowledge or this book rather, is something that it uplifts the people and it demotes the people. This is what it is. Not to see that you have the riches, you have the car, you have it. This is not what is you should be praised for. What is the thing that you're seeking to achieve? La. What of the Quran do you know? What of the Hadith do you know? What of the benefit of the Sahaba do you know? What of this religion do you know? What are you willing to give to the people? Even if it is from the knowledge of what you've been taught in school, what do you have to benefit the people with? Not that they're teaching you rubbish and you have to teach us rubbish. Like, we don't put our fingers in our ears. We don't want to hear that. You can go teach that somewhere else, bro. As for the khair for the Muslims, the khair is for the Muslims, bro. Give it to us. We're here to open up. And this is one of the things that changed my mind, actually. This whole thing is the
circle back.
The way in the masala and the mafasid. The seesaw effect.
Something, so like you said to me, and another thing when it comes to, why judge or whatever. Like you said, it's a war. Something, there needs to be something, like, to me, I'd say, obviously, reputable source, people speaking within their means and within the boundaries of what they know and what they're qualified to do. Yeah. But content have to run that, because even, do you know what I mean, at the end of the day, if you can stop man listening to that album for 1 hour because he's listening to Judge, to AMA, whatever, MCO, shout out all of them, increase them and grant them Tawfeeq and all of them. Like, if you can stop that, it's better. It's better for them, and it's better for them, man, that you can prevent and replace it with something good. But without anything there, the nature of the people is that they'll fill the time. It's the well-known saying from the West, but the devil makes work for idle hands.
We've had this conversation before, me and you as well, and I think it was part of your advice that we actually took about, and it was, I think, a big part of the reason we stopped recording weekly. About remember you told us yourself.
We had a conversation.
Certain man wanted to never record.
If the episode doesn't come out on Friday,
he's gonna quit. He's gonna slap your butt. Exactly. He's there gonna be reporting. You get it?
Yeah.
Make sure
my mum doesn't mind it. So I shouldn't mind it.
Yeah. So
but as long as you, and that's what I'm saying. If you can squeeze as much benefit as you can, and this is what my whole thing was. I was coming from the bab of these people are already studying. Why would you busy their time? Not to say this is not beneficial, but why would you busy their time with something other than what they're busy their time with already? Well, obviously that's not your target, is it? You're targeting the youth and the shabab.
Yes, the target isn't for everyone. Yeah. So it's, I guess we know who our target audience is, our target kind of audience is, and this is, I guess, part of the reasons that we spoke about.
It's not only black Muslims, is it? It's all types.
No, it isn't. It's not only black
Muslims.
We had a Moroccan. There was a Moroccan.
Sorry, did you say it's not only black brothers?
It isn't.
Okay.
It's not only for black brothers.
So Morocco's
It's
not
not
black.
only for black.
As in, it's not only for black brothers.
Okay, I'll just clarify.
Nah, the African, innit? No, yeah, bro. So let's get the khilaf in it. You man it makes it diverse, innit?
Yeah.
No, you chop the jollof in it. So
It's part of us now, yeah. Us and us. I'm a part of you, man. Am I allowed to be like?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, this is, I guess, I know for me, kind of like personally, this is like it's not just people, it's both of us. It's a constant war. I mean, like even what we were talking about on the phone literally before we started recording, and the gaffer and you man were saying that sometimes when I'm on a podcast, like I talk slowly, and it's not. I don't talk slowly because I'm like scared or anything, but it's
sure, yeah.
My hand is constantly moving when I'm talking. Everything comes down on the podcast.
Make mistakes.
Literally, it's everything I'm saying. So like I guess
I edit it. So
if I'm talking slowly, bear with me. But man, it's just
it's for your benefit.
It is literally it is scary. So it's like it's. But I think something that we even mentioned last week as well about kind of the importance of giving da'wah. I mean, and again, weighing up like risk and benefit. When it does come to Yawm al-Qiyamah and Allah is asking us like, what did you do in terms of spreading the knowledge to the people? Which one is going to be more daunting? Was it setting up a camera and speaking on a microphone and trying to at least give benefit to the people, or is it standing in front of Allah and saying, I didn't do anything with my time? So
even on that, I didn't try and benefit the people with something. That doesn't always mean you have to speak in it.
Of course.
And they have a statement from the ulama. They used to say ta'allamu samt, and it comes from the hadith of Jabir ibn Abdullah. I think the narration is in Shu'ab al-Iman, and there's an extension of this narration by Abu Dharr. He said ta'allamu samt kama tata'allamuna kalam, something like this, something to the effect of this. He said learn silence. This is the statement of Jabir. And then the extension was, learn silence the same way you learn how to speak. Ilyas al-Ijli, he used to mention that I struggled 10 years in order to perfect my silence. Why? Silence is not the ability or the disability to speak. If a dumb person, he'll be the most perfect person to implement the statement. Like, and he's not. Silence is, you're able to speak in a situation and you refrain from doing it. You don't what? You don't speak. Because of what? The hikmah. They say every single speech, it has its place. Not just so you have to speak every single time. No. Sometimes there's a place and there's a time and there are people that you need to say this to. And this is what is wisdom, actually.
Yeah. From the most praiseworthy characteristics, Imam Abu Hanifa, is that he is known for being somebody who only spoke when spoken to. So, and
that is something that is hugely beneficial. That's why I say don't always give credence to people that they speak a lot and as they say, the broken clock is right how many times? Twice a day. And do you know what's funny about this statement? Yeah, when I first heard it, I was just looking like, twice a day is not even a lot of time. Like generally speaking, do you know what it is? Like we look at it as let's say it was 12 o'clock. Like that's one of 12 minutes, but it's not actually like that minute. How many minutes are there in a day? 1,440 or something like that. Yeah, actually my math's dead. You know my math's dead, but like it's
alhamdulillah.
Yeah, there's maybe 1,000 something minutes in a day. Yeah, imagine it's only two of those 1,000, and not even is it a minute only. It's a second of that time because the clock's broken, by the way. It's not moving. Yeah. Like it's a second of that time, and if you want to reduce it further, you can go all the way to milliseconds or whatever's lower than milliseconds.
1,440.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Was that the maths? Yeah, I got it.
Let's go. That was Chris Jobs or whatever. Man, that's good. What's the Chris Jobs? Steve Jobs.
Allah, alhamdulillah, you're forgetting these man's name, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, because they're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. But yeah, as in. A person is, as they say, if a person's his teacher is his book, he doesn't actually go to the Duros and he's not learning, he's gonna be right. Like in what he says is wrong, is gonna be much more. What he's gonna be saying is wrong, and this is what I'm saying. Like it's always gonna be in that risk to benefit ratio thing. You're always gonna have to weigh that. Don't be too eager, and this is what I was saying. Don't be too eager to buy, so you have to buy everything, because it's like, we look at the ayah in Surah Rum. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بعض الذين عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. The ayah 40 something, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he mentions corruption has appeared upon land and sea because of the sins that men has earned. ليذيقهم بعض الذين عملوا. So they may turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala So Allah SWT, He showed them small of the trials that they used to do as small punishment, so that you may turn back. It's just a reminder. This is what you're doing. Like, take that a little bit. Are you gonna turn? Maybe a little bit more. You did that. You man did that. Like the Muslims today, be it the kuffar, and this is what I'm saying. You know, in your field, you see how many people are prescribed antidepressants and all these things. Who put this forward? Who put this forward? You're not enjoying your life. Why are you not enjoying your life? Do you not want to ponder upon the reasons? Like, you need to go back to the basics. Your life is a mess because you put it in that situation. That's number one. You did that. How do you rectify it now? Now we're talking. This is real speech. How do I rectify my life? Who's the correct person to do that? Who do I go to for this? And if it wasn't taught properly from when you're young, you're going to start to go to these people on YouTube, these gurus. And this is what I'm saying. Like, young people are going to YouTube for advice. Like, life advice. YouTube. And this is the whole thing I'm scared of. That the Shabab have access to nearly everything. Nearly everything at their fingertips. And they're not using it to benefit themselves. Why? They have not been given the tools. They're not been given the education how to do this. It's just go to school. You complete your school.
Tick
college,
the boxes,
you
tick
do
the
university,
boxes,
you
tick
get
the
your job,
boxes.
you die. You get it. You work for us. We squeeze you for every single economic worth you have with you, and you can go and do about your business because we're gonna have people to replace you. And this is their mold, and this is their understanding of life. And it is not for the Muslim. This is not the understanding of life for the Muslim. It isn't. What is the understanding of life for the Muslim? We are here for what? Worship.
Allah.
We are
Nothing.
the slaves of Allah, and this is what we're alhamdulillah we're trying to
worship Allah.
benefit the people with. And it's not having knowledge of Aqid, having knowledge of who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, His lofty names and attributes, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions, and how we're going to benefit ourselves. And that's why I say don't get caught up into what people are doing too much. It's not going to benefit you. It really isn't. You can spend hours and hours trying to dive into, you know, what's the people that they speak on YouTube with the foil hats and them, man. There's UFOs and
Conspiracy.
Yeah, them, man. You can, like, even if you get to the bottom of everything, like, who's the president of the United States now? Biden. If you know what all these men are doing,
what do you get?
What could you do now? tell me that now what answers? Now you've discovered everything.
What does that information
You infiltrate.
do?
Now talk to me. Put it on the table and tell me where are you gonna go from this? Tell me that. It's like for the Muslims, like even if you waste your time doing that, you finally cracked the answer. You broke Pandora's box, or you cracked the Rubik's cube. What? So what now? You know, you still have to pray, like you still have to fast, you still have to do Hajj when you're given the means to, when you're within means. You still have to fast from other. Where you escaping to? That's what I said. For you to better utilize your time is to do what? Learn your religion. Whether this fitness going on or not,
there's a prize.
there's a benefit. Where are you going after? Inshallah, bidnillah. Jannah. And you man used to say that, but Allah will increase you, man. Jannah is the motive, man. You man needs to bring that back, man. Keep saying that within that. You need to know that.
Did we stop saying that?
I ain't heard that in ages.
On the pod, no, you didn't even pre.
I never really said on the pod. It's not in our bio anymore.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie.
Have you seen our pod?
First few episodes, I think it was there.
Sorry.
I remember.
Jannah's
Jannah's the motive.
No,
Honestly,
still
say it,
still
think
about it,
it.
still
Yeah,
about it,
yeah,
still
yeah,
about it.
I
remember. Let me
Yeah.
quick, and obviously, because you didn't mean, you know, if somebody's got chemical imbalance, mental.
Aywa. No,
of course, man's not saying that.
No.
That's not a real thing.
It is, of course. But I'm saying that it's
over, but
overdone.
overly
Yeah.
done, 100%. And any medical mental health professional worth anything will tell you the same thing.
Yeah. Even the amount that they're prescribing these type of medications today, it's insane.
Sweets.
I think it's second only to antibiotics.
It's dummy.
It might be even first now. I don't understand.
It's a dummy. It's a
And if
pacifier.
you even look to the countries that have the most of these prescribed. Look to it. Where is it? And I was surprised there was another country that was mentioned there. I'm not going to mention it for politics of the people. Very close, very, very close to home. Might be home, but might be home. But population maybe. But it's generally the West. Why? And these are the people, quote unquote, that are living the best lives. Why are they being prescribed the most antidepressants? Can anyone answer that question for me? Somebody make it make sense.
What do they seek?
What is the benefit? What are you doing? Do you get it? Muslims, you man, take it from your religion, please take benefit from it.
If not, you'll be disgraced.
Yeah.
In this world, and the next.
And the next, and the what I next, bro.
Yeah.
It's bro. You man, most people have burned themselves before, bro. Fire it's not easy and it's not light.
It's hot.
I know it's been mentioned in some hadith, the description of the people of Jahannam, that they're 2 foot beside of Uhud, and the distance between their ears and their shoulders would be like 80 years. And it's like, you look at these narrations there, and you're just looking like, this is actually just maximal punishment. If you remember, do you remember Surface
Aaron being driven like?
Yeah.
Is that the Fadazani? What's the rod being
the dragged?
Yeah,
the same one.
Driven,
but even the first person to innovate into Mecca and Medina, he brought the idols towards them. Amir bin Amir. Khuzai, I believe that's his name. Khuzai, something like this. He's from that tribe. Anyway, he's going to be dragging his intestines around the floors of Jahannam. And it's like, we look at these and it's like, why am I not scared, fam?
Yeah, these ain't. It's not bedtime stories.
You get it?
Yeah, but
And this is why there's so much benefit, man, in studying history and religion.
It's an iman issue that affects all of us.
All of us, 100%. And we're not free from it, I understand. We're not saying that. We're just...
Okay. All of this is a reminder to ourselves.
Yeah. And it's just, you even go back to that depression thing. It's like, what exactly is the West selling you? What are they selling you? That you can have everything. You have your cake and eat it, basically. Tell me where that is in history that's happened before. And where exactly, what's the trajectory? What's the aim? Maximal glory. How can you ever have that? Somebody has to be risked. You should know that. That's like primary school level. There's no benefit that doesn't come with an expense. None. And this is why I say this fraud thing is actually a catch-22, bro. It earns one of three ways. Either you get bagged, or you get caught up within the people that you were frauding.
Or the money destroys you.
Yeah, the money destroys you. And then the fourth one, Jahannam. Even if you escape all of these things, you was the most diligent person in the world. Yeah. You're gonna go face who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That day you're gonna sweat. Like, in
that Cuba yacht that you're in.
Yeah.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die.
What are you escaping exactly?
Yeah.
That grave is gonna squeeze you very hard. You're gonna forget that penny every single penny that you gained that day. I understand. They say that the person who suffered the most, this is the hadith actually, in Yawm al-Qiyamah, in the dunya, he suffered the most. He will be dipped into paradise for a portion of time. And he will ask, Allah sometimes is going to ask him, did you feel any hardship?
What?
Did you feel any hardship in the whole dunya? The dunya is how long? The Prophet said 60, 70 years, he said, sir? The hadith, 60, 70 years. 60, 70 years of hardship that person was living. We think about our brothers and sisters back home, Palestine, Syria, etc. The countries, they're numerous. This is very long. Allah rectify their welfare and ours. Yeah, we look at their welfare, 60, 70 years. They're dipped into paradise for a portion. They say, what? Like, we didn't, and none.
What are you talking about with this?
And that person that enjoyed themselves, the maximal enjoyment. Here are these people, and they're kathir today. There's a lot of them today, and especially in the West, that they enjoy themselves the most. What is it going to be this state? They're going to be dipped in hellfire for what? A portion of time. This is a little bit of their punishment. And they're going to say, what? I was going to ask them, did you enjoy anything from the dunya? Did you enjoy any of it? 60, 70 years, it was barshaling, yeah? Enjoyment, doing fulus and having this money, doing Yahoo boy, basically, yeah? He really enjoyed himself, yeah? He did all of it. Don't worry about these dances that the people are learning, Dagi and whatever's about today, you'll understand.
All the way back when I was...
Yeah, I was nothing about that one come to my mind. Whatever's recent today, just imagine what's recent. You don't need to learn it. Don't save yourself the hassle, or like go remember an ayah or learn something. Yeah. Do something with that time. Don't go and learn it. Because what? That person's going to say when he was dipped out of the fire, did you enjoy any of this life? Did you enjoy any of it? He said none. 60 to 70 years he was enjoying.
It's not even a distant memory. It's going to be erased.
Allah understand. Yeah. And you remember we did in maths.
Surface area. They'll claim that they were cheated.
Yeah. Your body's going to testify against you. What's it going to say? You did this and this, and you did this and this, and you did this and this.
Your own body.
Your own body. Imagine. Who is more just in this? And we talk about social justice systems today, sir, in Britain and America and other than these countries, and how erect they are and how good they are for liberalism, and you'll get your rights, so you get put in jail, which is basically a hotel. It's like, especially in some other countries, in the Norwegian countries, it's like, what's the suffering you're doing there for doing the crime that you did? And just to go back to the punishment that they're going to receive in hellfire. We did surface area and ratios and geometry and that. Like,
once upon a time.
Yeah, once upon a time. Generally speaking, what do they say about something that is small? Like, just imagine fire. Yeah? If you light something like, what's small today? Let's say this chin, yeah. If it like we pour drizzle oil in it or whatnot, we burn it. How long is it gonna take to burn? Quick, sir.
Short.
This thing, there's a person in Jahannam. His tooth the size of what? Mount Uhud. The distance between his earlobe and his shoulders, what? Around 80 years. I think we did the narrations was here. I can't remember, it was a long time ago we took the narrations. This is maximal punishment. Like, you can burn your hand, yeah, you never have to feel that burn in that hand again, because the sensation is probably gone, the neuron's probably gone. But I'm saying, Allah subhanahu is going to renew that body. And you're going to feel it again and again and again. Time. Yeah, like it's the first time. And I can keep saying again, yeah, but the reality of the situation is that my agains can't end.
It can't end.
And they used to say,
the amount of times you can say again,
I understand. There's going to be more.
To the reality.
This is what you're fighting. These 670 years that you want to bust out. This is what you're fighting for. This. Is it worth it? Like, ask yourself, is it worth it? That you want to imitate the kuffar for this? You want to imitate them for that? Every single thing today, we find the Muslims following them. Why? We don't need to do that. Yani is from your religion, as they say. Look at infinity, yeah? Sorry, Ali, do you want to speak, sir? You want to say something? Go. Infinity, yeah, take an example. Any of you might be to the desert, like Sahara Desert or any other desert, where you stand in the middle and you look at all sides and you can't see anything else but sand, like, under heat. You've been to one, sir?
Desert?
Yeah, imagine, yeah, picking up a grain. You should be able to relate. Picking up one grain. Like, wallahi, when I was in a unnamed country, I did it. I picked it up. And they say times the amount of years per grain, yeah. Let's say even you're going to say 100 and drop it down. You pick it up and count the next grain by 100 years. You put it down. And do that for every single grain, yeah. But every single grain you pick up, you always put it back down. So you're going to have to cut that grain again, isn't it? Are you ever going to finish? And remember where we are, yeah? Sahara Desert. The grains don't end. Google it. But Sahara Desert, it's all you can see. Yeah. That's if infinity. Like, that's perpetual punishment. Every single day. Is it worth it? I mean, 60 to 70 years. Come on, that. A baby could probably tell you the answer to that. It's not. It can never be worth it.
And people may hear this and think,
it's not that easy.
Like, I'm a Muslim.
No.
I've escaped.
No.
And there's a lot of Muslims that take the view that I've got my shahada. I'm okay. Jannah is for me. It's promised.
No. There will be Muslims in the hellfire.
No. There'll be Muslims in the hellfire.
No.
And that because look, fair enough. You're saying green infinity. Even if it's not infinity, bro, you don't want 5 minutes.
A portion.
You don't want 5 minutes, man. You don't want 5 minutes.
And this is a portion. This is the fire that we experience today.
It's
Even
not the fire.
It's a portion. Like it's not even in the same comparison level. I don't know what the narration mentioned. It mentioned a specific number. I think it's 70. The maximum fire on this earth is like the least, or a 70th of the fire that's going to be in Jahannam.
1/70th.
1/70th. Are you insane to think that there's a comparison? Yeah, I confirm it. Wallahi, I heard, and you can maybe cut this part out. Sometimes there's no benefit when I go on these tangents. At work, just to show you the establishment, there were people, they were talking, and the gender should come apparent by when I'm speaking, not to debase anybody's gender.
There's only two, so actually nowadays
is there?
No, but there are two. There are two. In case you didn't know.
They were talking about the pressure of work and how it was getting to them, and obviously we have solutions for this in Islam, alhamdulillah, and how it's getting to them and whatnot. And obviously the solution to mine comes to mind, but I didn't say anything because context, social and whatnot. There's the time and the place for every speech. And they were saying they always cry themselves to sleep and stuff like this. I was just like, this is like, when is going to be the time for you to turn back? Then they said something that really struck me. He said, and one of them was, Allah understand was a Muslim, sir, but maybe from the call you'll tell what they were upon. May Allah rectify our affair and theirs. I mean, she just said, I just want to die, one of them. I was just in the corner. As they say, there's a time for every single speech, sir. I just want to die.
If only you knew.
Yeah, I just want to die. And I was thinking, imagine you dying, you're staying, Allah understand. The other one said, don't worry, I don't mind either. And she said, what, don't you want to get to, one of them said to the other one, don't you want to get to paradise? And she said, at this point, I don't mind. I don't mind. Have you lost your mind, fam? Like, there's no comparison. Like, at this point, I don't mind. You can tell that the person's going through something very stressful. But it's actually...
Even still, man.
Bro, but this is what it is. These are the people that are gaining maximum gratification. This is the civilian in this country living the best fruits of the Western...
Somebody with
and it's common.
With rationality in their mind shouldn't be capable of that.
I didn't finish the story. Yeah. She says... the person
They
said, I wouldn't mind. The Muslim. And this is, I think, it should be a wake-up call for every single one of us to go and study your aqidah, the religion. Tawheed, if I go, don't worry, I'll bring you with me. If I go, don't worry, I'll take you with me. And she still said, at this point, I don't mind, as long as I end it. And this is obviously these are fighting
That word
words. These are,
even that word end is funny.
it's very
And
mad.
That's the start. When you that's not
Yeah.
end, it's a start.
And they're he's a very young person. 60, 70 years. I couldn't. Alhamdulillah, yeah. May Allah keep us firm. And it comes in that narration of Ibn Abdullah, where he's asked the Prophet to teach him something that will only he can teach him, and if he was to pass away, that he can benefit from it. And he said, يعني السيء بالله يقول آمنت بالله يعني ثم يستقم يعني ثم استقم. Say you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then what? He said first. What an amazing advice. Say what? Believe in Allah and remain steadfast. What is this? This is what we've been talking about this whole episode. Have the izzah in your religion. Be not prideful. The dispraise is worthy of pride, but have pride as in honor. You know that this something's going to bring me clear. And the person I'm speaking to, most likely if they're a kufar non-believer, they don't have what you have. They don't have it. What you have as a Muslim, wallahi, it's ni'mah that you was born as a Muslim, or even that you was a riva and you found in Islam. It's a ni'mah. As you mentioned, and this is not to encourage these people to do sins. Even if you are Muslim and you die, you eventually will get to Jannah. Not that there's going to be deficiency in yourself, but you're going to get to Jannah, and you're going to be so happy that you think that you've got basically the same thing as everybody else in Jannah.
Think of the lottery. Think of the lottery as a great
token. Yeah.
And do the same exercise. That's the gift.
Allah is going to ask you, what do you want? You're going to exhaust everything you want. You're going to exhaust it. You're going to exhaust every single thing you want, and still what? You're not going to be able to exhaust the bounty of Allah. You're still not going to enjoy it, and he's going to be surprised. Like, what else is there to ask for? You know what I'm saying? You've wished for everything you want, yeah. And some of the children, they used to write lists about what they wanted to have in Jannah, innit? It's like the list will finish eventually, innit? Even if you ask for every single thing, Lord, it will finish eventually. Allah is going to ask you after that, what do you want? What do you want?
I think it's a good exercise. I remember I was saying one of the brothers, Brother Ahmed, back in the day, used to, and it's something that stuck with me. I don't know if I said it was after the episode, wasn't it, that we were discussing it last, I can't remember, but saying that, just that exercise. I don't know if you came to that camp when we did the fire and we were looking at.
Oh, okay.
And just that exercise of pondering Jannah and thinking about the bounty and thinking about.
You were looking at fire when you did this, yeah? You were looking at fire when you did this.
No, rubs me out,
What happened, man?
Looking at fire, and then he said
What happened?
Then he gave the same analogy. Imagine the hellfire is nothing. It's got nothing on this fire. And then conversely, think of the Jannah and think of it, and even but even think about it. Just think about like. We'll say what paintballing with a man them in the forest, go karting. Think about everything you want to do and just and make it a reality, make it something to strive for, and inshallah it will make it easier for you to make striving for Jannah and every day and constantly in your mind, and something that becomes part of you.
Just a little note. Just try as much as you can. Like, even if it's something small in the beginning, try and benefit your time. Like, even if it's not something, okay, fine, you find it difficult to study religion, you find it boring, whatever. A lot of people have that struggle, yeah. And that's a lie, by the way. It's very entertaining, but you get there in bit. Even if you find it boring, try and benefit yourself in other ways. And stuff that are not haram, that ain't not even close to haram. Don't get close to it. Even if it's something that you learn how to build something small, or something that you can teach your children, or you get it, something that is small. How to invest, how you're going to benefit people. This wallah is going to go far for you. As long as you build something, don't go out and do these things that these people are doing on these other social media sites. It's not like, just wait. Have the delayed gratification, have the understanding that. And he used to be, came from one of the statements of one of Ibn Taymiyyah's teachers. He said, "An-nafsaka illam tashghalha bit-ta'a shaghalata bil-ma'siyah." That if you don't benefit yourself with your nafs, yani yourself, if you don't benefit it, if you don't benefit yourself with obedience, and if you don't benefit that nafs with obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's going to busy you with what? With batil. It's something that is not going to benefit you. So basically what I'm trying to say is you're even
the devil waits more.
exactly so inshallah you can memorize this one. If you don't benefit yourself with if you don't benefit yourself, and it comes in another statement. One of the brothers, I told him this, somebody said another statement, he remembered that ilam tashghala bilhaq shaghalata bil batil. Your nafs, if you don't benefit it with truth, it's going to benefit with with something that is not truth, with falsehood. So always trying to push in that direction of gain beneficial knowledge, something that's going to benefit you, your children, somebody in the dunya, in the akhirah, in the dunya, sorry. And try your best, work hard for it. Allah, you're going to see the results. If it's not 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you're going to see eventually bidnillah. So, and this is why, and even if you don't benefit from it, well, may Allah make it heavy on your scales. Yeah, and it comes in that narration Ibn Umar, where he saw one of the companions, or not a companion, rather, a tabi'i, most likely. He took his mother on his back and did tawaf around the Kaaba. And the tawaf is, as you can imagine, is very, by itself, it's taxing. With the mother on your back, it's probably even more taxing. So he put his mother down, he went to Ibn Umar, he asked, he said, do you not see that I have repaid back my mother the burden that she took while she was in my womb? He said, not even a breath when she was in labor. Not even a breath. Are you mad? A breath. Not even a breath when she was in labor. He said, but may Allah reward you with good for the little that you have done. He said, may Allah reward you with a lot of good, for the little that you have done. And this is our case today, yeah. We think we're doing a lot. Yeah. Obey your parents, and you can never pay them back for the thing that they gave to you. And Ibn Qayyim, he has a statement, he said, your mother when she was in your stomach here, and it was responding to the people that say they have lost themselves or they're not able to benefit their time, or make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's your response. Make dua. Eventually, if the dua is not responded straight away, eventually we'll answer bidnillah. One of 3 ways that we previously mentioned, or you guys have previously mentioned.
Something better.
Aywa. And he said, a person, you wasn't even making dua in your womb, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving you rizq, giving you a portion, everything was given to you in your womb. What do you say about a person who's given his tongue, his mouth, he's able to speak, he's able to raise his hands, he's able to face the qibla, to make wudu, to make dua in the time of rain when you're traveling, and all of these things, and you're making dua. What do you say to a person that is in this state? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave it to you while you're in your womb, you didn't ask. What about if you did ask? Is there not going to be a benefit in you asking? Even if you don't get it, there's going to be khair that comes from that dua. So try it. That is what can you lose from making dua?
Nothing.
0. Try your hardest to make dua, even if that benefit you find it hard to benefit from your time. But I'll make it easy for you, man.
Very minimum you're getting is the fact that you've listened
you
to the command of Allah to make dua.
Exactly.
That, oh, inshallah, be on your scale.
Nah, I may make it heavy, man.
I mean. I've got to drive to Kent, unfortunately.
But what's happening, Kent, bro?
No, he has to not.
Family.
Serious?
Yeah, family.
I understand. Man, I bet you increase your
I mean.
Barakallahu
Where's your family? Next one. Inshallah. Or by the next pod.
Oh, is that what somebody said? Huh? Is that what somebody said?
Maybe.
We'll speak about that person, innit?
This guy he knows how to dodge. Spin doctor.
60 episodes? Man's been slipping and sliding, bro.
Hello, would you man? Jazakallah khair for coming on.
Yeah, man, trust me. It's another episode where we haven't stuck to the docket at all.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would the gaffer for preparing the docket.
What's the docket?
It's like the...
What we were meant to talk about.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
The reason I have laptop here.
It's not a bad thing. It's just in case, you know.
What you got? Can we cover something quick?
Next episode.
Now we have a reason.
Next episode? Question mark. Underline.
Next time on Jollof after Jummah.
Fried rice after Fridays.
Fried rice Fridays, yeah.
I want both to be honest. Fridays is damn man's word, isn't it?
Fried rice after Friday.
No, Friday fried rice.
Friday fried rice.
I want both. Next time I'm here, I want both for my plate.
That could be an offshoot of Jollof after Jummah.
The little kids, the
kid one.
Yeah.
The junior.
Friday, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like the word, but I get where you man coming from.
But yeah, alhamdulillah, man. Jazakallah khair for listening, people. If you stuck with us this long, you know, to the usual stuff, you know, comment on the videos, share and subscribe, subscribing that.
Smash that like button. I don't know. I don't benefit from these people. Yeah, sometimes I watch things. I'm sorry if I'm dragging it. Yeah, but on YouTube, you know the people that they most engage. It shows you the most engaged list of YouTube, innit? Yeah. It's strange to me how it's trivial things that people are watching today. Like it's actually just billions of views on. Like, this is actually nonsense, like. And the person at the end of the video says, "Smash the like button." It's like, what exactly is the man smashing for? Like, man, fight that. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Akira. That's not you, man.
It's all of us, though. Most of us.
But yeah, if it helps the algorithm, and I'm gonna help Muslim benefit. Bi'idhnillah.
And it will push this video and it will push videos like this, innit? And decrease
Videos like
nonsense
this.
videos that are
videos
not
all
like
over
this.
that, yeah.
Inshallah.
One thing I did want to say as well is obviously everything that we have said in this episode, that it's a reminder for us first and foremost.
course.
We're not sitting here, you know what it is already. It's a reminder for us first and foremost, and anything that we said that's correct is from Allah and the Messenger, and anything that's incorrect is from ourselves and Shaitan. But yeah.
Cool.
You know the socials there in the bottom
any
corner.
final-
They're somewhere around here. The socials are there.
Yeah,
Benefit
literally
the
in that
people
corner.
in there, mate.
Any final?
I've got nothing else to say, man. تعلم الصمت تعلم
We
الصمت.
didn't really talk
Learn
about you on
silence.
this episode, but you know.
Actually, there's nothing to talk
Nothing
about.
to talk
There's
about.
no-
I
actually,
know the script. I know the script. I know the script. I know the script.
I don't even know what I'm asking. Barakallahu feekum. But yeah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.